My 18-year-old daughter is mad at me for giving her a 10 p.m. curfew even though I legally can't give her one anymore. But she's out with her friends all the time, and I'm just worried for her safety. Hello, I'm new to Reddit, so sorry if I come off weirdly. I'm a 49-year-old mother with an 18-year-old daughter in community college. I'm also very introverted and a little anxious. I understand my daughter needs a social life, but I just don't feel right about it. This year, she started going out more with her friends. She was sad that she wasted her teenage years in her room, but she was safe that way. She downloaded Life 360 from me, and she bought pepper spray, and her phone is always on. She's usually at the mall or downtown exploring with friends. I just don't like that I don't know what she's doing or who she's with. I believe it's much better to stay at home so there's no risk of anything bad happening to anyone. Sometimes she's annoyed about it. She's a 10 p.m. curfew. Midnight is much too late. She said she feels stifled and sheltered, but I'm just trying to keep her safe. She gives me weird looks when I tell her that going out a lot isn't a good thing. Am I being irrational? Coming from another 18-year-old's perspective, you sound way too overprotective. I mean, I get that you're introverted yourself and, you're scared of whatever's going to happen to her, but she's her own person and she needs to have a social life so that she's able to actually handle just having conversations growing up. She can't just sit in a room her whole life like you want her to. Anyways, some of the comments say, let your daughter live. And then OP respond, she's smart but too trusting of people. I'm scared she'll get into a bad situation. I'm a single mother and I can't have the stress of her possibly getting offed or worse. Home is safer. And then the commenter replies, what exactly would be worse? And OP says, oh, assault? I mean, this mom is just insane, bro. And so the other comment says, it's normal and healthy for your daughter to go out. She's learning to build bonds with people, exploring and connecting with her community. The skills she's developing will help her professionally if she moves to a new place and when she finds a life partner who will have their own family and friends who will also be in her life. What about yourself? Do you have enough strong friendships and do you take enough time to explore all that's going on locally? Yeah, I completely agree with this person. I mean, this is basically exactly what I was saying. Like, she needs to go out and, build social skills. But, the OP says, I'm just scared she'll do something stupid. Part of the reason why she's going out is because she complained about her senior year and that her peers babied her because she was quote unquote sheltered. She also felt bad about not hanging out with friends much when she wasn't busy with jobs and quote unquote adulthood. What if she drinks and tries to fit in? She never got much male attention. What if she sleeps with a man just to feel affection and ends up pregnant? I'm very introverted and quite the homebody, so I only talk to people at work and church. I guess I'm too old for friendships, lol. Museums, sports events, and the like don't really interest me. I just shop, work, and sleep. I mean, you sound like a humanoid fucking robot, dude. What do you mean you just shop, work, and sleep, and that's all there is to your life? And what are you so worried about if your daughter is smart? Like, okay, yeah, if you're 18, you're probably gonna make some stupid decisions, but you gotta have a little faith in your daughter that she's not gonna turn 18 and instantly go, drinking and sleeping with a bunch of men. I mean, you have to have some faith in her, right? I mean, that's just crazy. Like, if I knew my mom thought that way about me, I would honestly be mad at her. Anyways, the update says, my heart broke today, but it's much deserved. My 18-year-old daughter has slowly stopped sharing things with me. She's scared to talk to me. I'm short tempered, and I often lecture her out of love, but once she said half our conversations is me just talking to her. She acts like a bit of a know it all sometimes. She once said I tell her she's too naive, yet I give her a 10 p.m. curfew, I get pissy when she hangs out with friends, and I didn't let her walk outside our neighborhood until she was 16. I'm just trying to keep her safe. One thing I do understand is that I made her incapable of handling confrontation. She was a sassy kid, but as she grew older, I wondered why she couldn't stand up for herself. Then I remembered how much I blew up at her or was sarcastic with her without allowing her to get angry at me back. She had OCD. We both recognized the symptoms and she begged for therapy, but I let my denial get the best of me until junior year of high school. I apologized for it this year, but I'm not sure if she truly forgives me. Today she told me she wants to go to a uni downtown in Georgia when she's done with community college. I have a stinking feeling it's to do with me. I'm offended. I do a lot for her, but I understand. Moms, how do you deal with this if it's your fault your kid doesn't like you? Well, maybe you should start by fucking changing. Yeah, okay, maybe take away the 10 p.m. curfew or stop being so mad that your child is out all night. because you literally wouldn't want her to walk outside your neighborhood until she was 16. I mean, talk about being like, I understand that the world is a bad place. Trust me. I completely understand the world's a bad place and you want to keep your kids safe. But you are coddling your kid way too much, and she finally realized that it's not okay. So, a couple comments. One says, "You're offended that the daughter you talked down to and denied mental health treatment wants to move as far away as possible." This right here tells me you don't want to work on yourself. You just want to make her magically appreciate and love you. If you want to fix this, you need to fix your actions. Listen to her without butting in on how wrong she is. Apologize for the lack of treatment and mean it. Tell her you support her wherever she wants to go for college. Stop blowing up and start being supportive. And if it's that difficult, get into therapy yourself. It's going to take years and a lot of work to fix this relationship. Yeah, I completely agree with all of those takes. And commenter 2 says, "So she was never right. When she expressed her opinion, you yelled at her. You talked to her rather than to hear. You were so controlling that she has to be home at 10 p.m., which only lets her know you don't trust her. Is there anything about your daughter that you ever said that somewhat resembled, 'I'm proud of you'? You drove her away a long time ago. You recognize what you did, but do you want her to say, 'It's okay and I will stay'? She wants to get as far away from you as possible, and who can blame her? She wants the opportunity to live her life without being told she's wrong, untrustworthy, and irresponsible. You have a lot of making up to do if you truly ever want a relationship with her. Encourage her to go. Tell her she will do great things. Don't say one negative thing to her about going. Maybe if you do this, she will trust what you say, but my guess is that it will be a long waiting period. All you can do is support her, not criticize her." Yeah, I mean, this mother just honestly kind of seems like she resents her kid a little bit. I mean, she doesn't want her to do anything, and she's always kind of belittling her. I'm not even surprised that this kid wants to just get as far away as possible from her mom. I mean, who could blame her? So, update 2 is titled, "Why Are My Daughters So Different, Yet They Were Raised the Same Way?" I have two daughters, 118 and 128. They were both goody two shoes as kids and were both raised by me. God, I feel bad for the 28-year-old then. Both live at home and both grew up religious. Both were also major people pleasers and aren't mentally ill as far as I know. Yeah, they aren't mentally ill, but girl, you might be. Okay. Yet, the younger doesn't really talk to me. She's a bit more wild. She goes out with friends often, wore a fake nose piercing as a bit, and isn't Christian anymore. She gets more and more assertive and confident the older she gets. Yeah, uh, good for her. You're concerned about her being confident? Like, what? It's like you're trying to control your whole kid's life. It's like you have her, it's like she's a puppet and you have her on the strings, like playing dolls in her fucking mind. Like, no, that's not how having a kid works. You want her to grow up and be her own person. Anyways, sorry. The older texts and calls me all the time. She still asks me for permission to do things. If she's not working, she has a career. She usually stays in her room laying down. She's introverted and complacent. Why is this? Well, first of all, I think your older daughter, the one that's 28, has been completely brainwashed by you. I mean, why is she still asking you for permission to do things? She's 28. Even if, in this case, it seems like she lives at home, why is she asking you for permission and just doing nothing with her life unless you raised her to be that way? You have to understand that your kids and you are not going to be the same exact person, although you will probably share some qualities because that's just how life works. You know, when you grow up around someone, you're going to inherently become somewhat like them, but you know, your younger daughter clearly does not want to be like you at all, and I don't blame her for wanting to be her own person. And one of the commenters even says, "Simple. Your older daughter has had 10 extra years of your emotional abuse and is just that more ground down. While your younger one has seen what happened to her sister and has probably internalized the lesson that she's not going to tolerate that." I mean, if this Reddit, like, if this poster doesn't realize that she's the issue after her third post, then I'm convinced she's just trying to get someone to accept her beliefs and she's trying to convince herself that she's doing all the right things. But she's clearly not. Okay, she clearly needs some help. But that's just my opinion. I mean, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you tomorrow.